Glad you're back in Canada?
Oh, very much.
Yeah. It's been 3 days. What was it like at the airport?
It was a very nice surprise, actually, to see the kids, Rania, and the support committee waiting at the airport. And it was just wonderful after so long, after 1,154 days. I used to dream of that day, but I said, oh, no, maybe not, it will not happen. But it happened. So miracles could happen.
And it was 22 hours a day in solitary confinement?
In one building, yeah. You have no connection with the outside world. So you don't know what's going on. And then you have to speculate. And speculating is a very hard thing, especially when you are in the middle of the night. And most of the times, you wake up in the middle of the night and just you wait for the time to pass. And then you have to be innovative, to start reading. So books were the ultimate friend.
Let's go back to the case against you, the synagogue bombing. Should anyone doubt your innocence?
If the judges are convinced, for me, that's mission accomplished. And in France, they look for the truth. It's a different system.
Sure.
The burden of proof is on you. So I had to prove this. But in generally speaking, most of the Canadians, I would say, the overwhelming majority believe now my story.
Well, in your case, the Ontario Superior Court said that France's case was, this was a quote, convoluted, very confusing, with conclusions that are suspect. And yet, your government sent you away, allowed you to be extradited.
I can add one thing also. The judge here said there is no prospect of conviction in a fair trial. And to say this on the one hand, and to do the opposite on the other hand, to send this person when there's no prospect of conviction.
Isn't that a little bit crazy? I mean, you were extradited given all those conclusions?
This is, I'm talking about the craziness of this extradition law. So the judge felt, with tight hands.
But the politicians could have done something, could they not have?
Absolutely. The justice minister at the time could have done a lot, because he had the ultimate veto. Even if the judges did what the lousy law, I call it, if the judges did it according to the law, he could have said, no, wait a minute, because in the extradition, even the extradition law says we send only people for trial, not 3 years and 2 months before, no trial, nothing, no charges.
What would you say to the victims of that crime, who are still obviously want this to be closed, want someone to blame? What would you say to those people?
I don't think they want someone to blame. They want somebody who's responsible for that to blame.
Yes.
There should be real work to find the real people who did this. But from the onset, I started saying I reiterate this, I condemn this, and it doesn't have to, to find anybody just to close the dossier and say, okay, we've done our work. This is not how justice works.
How do you feel about this country now?
Well, any country in the world for me is not just trees and rivers and mountains or whatever, it's people. And people I love and people who supported me are here. Actually, if I would say, I would attribute my existence today here to these people, my family and these people who kept saying, don't give up, every letter. Keep going, hang on. We will not let you down. We will do everything, I kept fighting mainly because of this family and these people who supported me.
Are you surprised at your own strength?
I think the strength came from, what the potential outcome, and it paid off. It's the adjusting process, which takes I don't know how long, and you wake up in the middle of the night and where am I now? And I have these kids, they sleep, you know, one here, one right, one left. The first night, I just kept watching the little one for the whole night. I didn't sleep. He was asleep next to me, and then I kept looking. Is it possible? I don't want to lose, you know, waste time. I want to watch him. And last night too, though he likes to kick a lot.
We asked our Evan Dyer to take a deeper look at that extradition law and why it has so many critics.
Hassan Diab says he doesn't want compensation.
My main mission for the time being is to help get rid of this, of the existing, I call it lousy extradition law.
Canada has extradition treaties with over 30 countries, including undemocratic Cuba. Diab's lawyer Don Bain says he accepts the need for extradition to some places in some cases.
But Canada's balance has swung too far in always delivering up our citizens to the requesting states and not protecting our own citizens here.
Canada also doesn't require sworn testimony.
A foreign official need only sign a piece of paper that makes allegations against a Canadian. How do you defend against that?
Under Canadian law, the only way is for the Canadian to prove to the court that the information used against them is manifestly unreliable, reversing the normal onus for the prosecution to prove its case.
How are you going to conduct an investigation about what is alleged in the piece of paper from a jail cell?
Extradition of citizens can also be a one-way street. France, for example, prohibits the extradition of its own citizens. For 4 decades, France has refused to extradite film director Roman Polanski to the U.S., even though he pleaded guilty to having sex with a 13-year-old girl and then fled the country. Today, the Trudeau government said changes could be coming. The minister is seeking guidance from her officials regarding the effectiveness of existing protections in the Extradition Act and has asked them to look at any lessons learned in relation to this case. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.